Mets trading Brandon Nimmo to Rangers for Marcus Semien in stunning move to jumpstart offseason. Out with the old and in with the older. In an effort to improve defensively, the Mets were close to finalizing a trade with the Rangers on Sunday to send Brandon Nimmo to Texas for second baseman Marcus Semien, industry sources confirmed. Semien, 35, still has $72 million remaining on a contract that runs for the next 3 seasons. Nimmo, who turns 32 in March, is still owed $102 million on a contract that extends for the next 5 seasons. The deal was contingent upon Nimmo waiving his no-trade clause and must still be approved by MLB due to the cash, about $5 million, that would be headed to the Rangers. Nimmo's subtraction could serve as an indicator that the Mets plan to pursue Kyle Tucker or Cody Bellinger, both of whom are free agents for the outfield. Both, like Nimmo, are left-handed hitters. Semien's addition also strongly suggests the Mets will trade Jeff McNeil, who has served primarily as a second baseman. McNeil also can play the outfield. Semien, a right-handed hitter, overlaps with Luis Angel Acuna, a defense-first player with speed. Semien produced only a .230/.305/.364 line with 15 homers and 62 RBIs in 127 games for the Rangers last season, but won his second career Gold Glove. Semien, according to StatCast, recorded 7 outs above average, placing him in MLB's 92nd percentile for range. Semien also rated among the game's best base runners. The trade for Semien is not surprising in the context of President of Baseball Operations David Stearns' reaffirmation at the general manager's meetings that defensive improvement would be a focal point this offseason. The first thing is the recognition defense is as important as offense, Stearns said 2 weeks ago. We have a tendency in this game. It's not just the Mets, it's everywhere because offense is much easier to see and scoring runs is so much easier seen. In some ways, much more easier to measure than preventing runs, especially defensively, that it becomes, we need to focus much of our training time and efforts and energy on how can I get better offensively. And at times we forget about the other side of the ball. Nimmo, the longest-tenured Mets player, he debuted with the club in 2016 after he was drafted into the organization 5 years earlier as a first-round pick. Produced a .262/.324/.436 line with 25 homers and 92 RBIs last season. A popular player with the fan base because of his affability, Nimmo had spoken openly about his desire to play his entire career with the Mets and finish among the franchise's all-time leaders in games played. With the Rangers, he will be reunited with Jacob deGrom, who won 2 Cy Young Awards with the Mets before leaving as a free agent. Nimmo's departure follows a Mets nosedive that prevented the club from reaching the playoffs. A popular player with the fan base because of his affability, Nimmo had spoken openly about his desire to play his entire career with the Mets and finish among the franchise's all-time leaders in games played. With the Rangers, he will be reunited with Jacob deGrom, who won 2 Cy Young Awards with the Mets before leaving as a free agent. Nimmo's departure follows a Mets nosedive that prevented the club from reaching the playoffs. The Mets also face a big decision on Edwin Diaz following his opt-out with 2 years and $37 million remaining on his contract. Diaz recently put his chances of a Mets return at 50-50. The question is whether Stearns is willing to give 4 or 5 years to a closer who will turn 32 during spring training.